Thorne Memoractiv. Guys, Thorne products are expensive, and that's why I'm here to tell you if it's worth your hard-earned money or not. And I'm gonna keep it, as always, I keep it 100% unbiased because I'm not sponsored by any companies, and of course I'm in it for the genuine research standpoint to see if these things can actually enhance or augment my working capabilities in terms of what I do, which is revenue operations, and of course overall historically what I've done. I just finished my MBA, so I'm always looking for more ways to optimize and maximize the potential from a cognitive standpoint, from an overall cognitive function, working memory recall, all of that. Here's what they look like. 2 is the dose. You can take 2 up to twice daily. And some pretty compelling ingredients in this one, but never be impressed by what they have online. You should always go to NCBI for the actual results from the double-blind placebos that they have done on each of the ingredients. Getting right into it, ashwagandha 300 milligrams, I'm going to skip. Everybody should know about ashwagandha. Acetyl L-carnitine, also going to skip. I've done other videos on it. Ginkgo Phytosome 240 milligrams. Now, what is Ginkgo biloba? Well, it helps with memory recall, helps with cognitive function overall, but what they've done here is they have used actual trademarked ingredient, which is Vertivia. And what this is essentially Ginkgo biloba, which is bound to phosphatidylserine, which ostensibly potentiates the cognitive benefits of Ginkgo biloba versus standalone. Then you have Pure Energy, which stems from Pterostilbene and caffeine. So Pterostilbene at 66 milligrams, caffeine at 50 milligrams. Now, what is Pterostilbene, you may ask? Well, it supports mental focus and alertness. It enhances mood and sense of well-being. Basically, what they've done is they have bound together the Pterostilbene with the caffeine, and thus making it a much more efficacious, again, purportedly, way of delivering caffeine, because what the studies will show is that it actually has a lot of oncological uses in cancer treatment. So the most studies that I was able to find is actually in its capacity to provide benefits as it pertains to certain cancers, which is, of course, never a bad thing. But from an energy standpoint, there is not too much research that has been done in terms of how is this superior to perhaps taking caffeine or coffee as a standalone. Bacopa extract, aka Bacopa monnieri, 100 milligrams. Again, it's a focus of notorious and well-known nootropic, which of course hails from India, my country of origin. Same with most of these ingredients, actually. Ashwagandha, you'll even know Ginkgo biloba. These all came from India, and not sure why it's taken this long to put them together and formulate into nootropic supplements, but that tells you a lot about Ayurveda and our roots from an Indian cultural standpoint, which always focus on natural remedies versus doing things like Adderall, whatever the case is, all stimulants that are very prominent. And there's a preponderance of young kids being prescribed Adderall, which I am completely against and would never encourage anyone to resort to Adderall as a first measure until and unless they have actually exhausted all avenues of utilizing nootropic compounds because of the health implications of Adderall. Now, getting right into the last two, lutein from Lutemax 2020. So again, another trademarked ingredient. I'll put up a study here on the right, but essentially this was shown to enhance visual function, decrease eye fatigue. The only study I found was on children, but it's been shown to have neuroprotective and visual performance benefits. The reason that they put it in here is especially for individuals like myself or anybody who has a computer sitting desk job. The amount of time you're staring at a screen can have some negative implications from the blue light that's emitted, and of course, since your eyes are not being regularly exercised by doing those types of exercises, you're just staring at a screen for multiple hours a day in a quite sedentary mode with your eyeballs. So that's why they have included this, which is pretty interesting. I'll get into the experience. And then you have zeaxanthin isomers from Lutemax 2020. Again, the same ingredient, which has been shown to improve MPOD and of course supports your eye's ability to filter blue light. Now, getting into the experience, number one, I'm always skeptical. Okay, I don't care if it's Thorne, I don't care if it is the best supplement company known to man. Anytime you're buying supplements, I would actually implore you to also be dubious, because there is no regulation agency that is actually looking at what they're putting into these supplements, similar to the FDA and what they do with pharmaceutical medicines. There's nobody doing that for supplements, which is why you should always be skeptical to a degree where you know that these things may or may not be providing a palpable effect versus perhaps a placebo. But I'll tell you my experience on this. I've been taking it for about 2 weeks now. Number one, the caffeine, they might as well not put any caffeine in there because I don't feel it. And unless I have my daily cup of Joe or whatever the case is, if I'm having pre-workout in the morning, they could have put no caffeine and I wouldn't have known the difference. Now, however, that is highly dependent on your stimulant tolerance. So someone like my wife, who does not take caffeine, she felt it minutely, but nothing to the degree where you can expect some serious energy or even some subtle energy to help support your day and tasks that you have upcoming. From a cognitive standpoint, from a nootropic standpoint, if I could describe this in one line, everything is very subtle. You do the research, and I've had a couple of these studies that I showed here on the right. If you do the research, most of these compounds have long-term benefits, and there's nothing that you can really expect instantly. It's much more longitudinal in terms of what the benefits they can provide, but the plus side being that there are a lot of studies showing that from a toxicology standpoint, these ingredients are not toxic, and of course in the dosages that they have them cannot have any sort of implications to whether it's kidney function, liver function, all the organs which actually process these ingredients. There's no issues there, which is always comforting to know. But from a nootropic standpoint, I am underwhelmed, and for the price that you're paying for Thorne products, I would have expected more. Overall, do I think this is worth your money? No, because most of you will be looking for a product that actually allows you to feel some sort of impacts, and it doesn't have to be palpable to a pre-workout standpoint or even to those nootropic supplements which have 200, 300 milligrams of caffeine. I'm more so saying that it should have been something that allowed and enabled more focus, which it certainly did not foster for me. And for the price point, I don't think it's worth it. So I hope you found that helpful, folks. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe if you're enjoying the content. If there's any products that you would like me to test out, more than happy to test them out. It will take me some time just because I buy things on my own dime, and that is why you should always trust and know that these are fully transparent reviews with absolutely no conflicts of interest from a sponsorship standpoint. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your Monday, and keep making those brain games just as much as you're making those gym gains.